Hi, Cassara here. I'm going to be doing my fourth discussion board for diversity in the United States. And the question for this one was what the implications were for African Americans at the end of slavery and at the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. So slavery came to an end in the 60s, 1865. From there, some of the positives that were happening were we were starting to get more rights for African American and just the actual Africans. We started to allow, or they started to allow children that were born in America to black families to get to be citizens of the United States because they were born here. And we also started to give black males the right to vote. And this is all after slavery was abolished. Even though those things were all positive, there were still negatives going on. They developed the Jim Crow laws, which allowed blacks to have the same types of resources as the white people, but they did not get to use them alongside the white people. So they got the same quality of bathroom as white people would, but they weren't able to use the white person's bathroom. So basically the United States was trying to say, you know, here you go, we're counting you as equals, and we realize we did wrong, but by keeping them separate from the white people, keeping them segregated, it just showed that the white people did not think that they were equal. They still thought they were better than them. They still thought that there was something wrong with the black people, or else they would have let them share the same spaces as them and do everything that they were able to do, and they still weren't at that point. The Industrial Revolution obviously was a positive thing for a lot of people. A lot of black people started migrating to find no jobs. They were heading to the south to, or they were heading north, right, to find, more jobs and to kind of start over and try to escape that racism that was still happening. And most of them did succeed and find new jobs. But there was still the same segregation issues, and not only with that, now black people were forced to fight for jobs and compete for jobs against the European Americans or European immigrants, the new immigrants that were coming in at this time. So now they were having to compete with the Americans that were already here and thought they owned everything, but they were also having to compete with the new group of immigrants coming from Europe who, they're white, so even though they're immigrants and they're on the same level as the black immigrants, the white Americans obviously just thought that the white Europeans would do better at the jobs, and so that was a struggle that they faced. But with all the factories and assembly lines and different things that were popping up during this time, a lot of jobs were provided to people that weren't there before. In that song, I Too Sing America, I think the part on that really bugged me was when it was talking about how they took his wife and kind of stripped him of everything and tried to cover up his blackness with their red, white, and blue, he said. And that just, we took them and we completely stripped them of everything they were and tried to make them animals. I mean, the Americans at that time wanted them to be servants that had no personality, no backstory. They didn't. It's very sad when you think of it like that. And hearing him sing about how they took his wife and they just took everything he had and separated him from everything he had, everything he loved, and it's very sad to me. And the Strange Fruit song was very hard to stomach watching that video. obviously, seeing all those people hanging from trees, that, I don't know, that song is very bothersome. The fact that it's sang so nonchalantly, just like the lady was talking about in the video. That, you know, they can see people hanging from trees and call them strange fruit, like it's just, you know, something you see and like it's not a big deal. Um, but Also the song Poem by Hughes, when he had talked about how they wouldn't um, let him eat with the company that they had. They would make him go into the kitchen and eat on his own. And he talked about how if he got strong, and he refused basically to eat in the kitchen, they would see how beautiful he was, and how strong he was, and they would let them eat with him. And that was, I think that um, that was sad because it sounded like he was trying to prove himself, I guess, which I don't know why he would even want to. You know, I don't know. I don't know why he would feel like he wanted to even make the white people like him. I mean, I don't know if that's coming out the way I mean it to, but he, I don't know, the way he made it sound was like he wanted to be accepted by the white people. And at that time, the white people had done so many terrible things to the black people that I guess I was just shocked by the fact that he still wanted that acceptance. I thought that was quite sad. But anyway, so those are my thoughts on chapter 4 and 5 and the video and little things that we had to read. And if anyone has any questions or anything, let me know, and I'd be more than happy to try to answer them about my thoughts on this. Thanks.